Okay, I'm back now with the installation of Fedora Workstation 32, the 64-bit edition. Now it's the software is installing at 82%. Of course, it took like few minutes, so I'm back. So almost is toward the finishing of the installation. Of course, that doesn't mean that the installation of Fedora is complete. There is still additional tasks that we have to do to make sure that the installation is correct, adding user with administrative privileges, uh, configuring certain characteristics with regard to the network, and other activities as well. So we are approaching 90% at this moment. 96%, 97, and almost done. So 100% now. It is trying to wrap up those 100% of the installation, so it will move us to the next task that we need to do. Now it's configuring and installing the boot loader. This is for the booting process. The boot loader is basically, it loads into the CPU and the memory actually, and then the CPU, and the CPU takes over. So it's performing now post installation setup task. So the post installation, including the users, um, super user, as well as the another user with the privileges, with administrator or root privileges. So as you can see, everything is done by itself. It's self installation. So most of the task usually is done after the installation is completed. configuring installed system. So you find out that things will start moving faster. So the entire installation, the full installation of Linux Fedora Workstation will take about 15 minutes altogether. As you can see, is creating, configuring drivers, network drivers, generating initialization, file system. So this is a full installation of Linux Fedora version 32 as a 64-bit edition. This is a recent edition, recent release, and Fedora is by Red Hat, which is now owned by IBM. Now the reason why I selected to choose Fedora Workstation, because I want to demonstrate both the graphical user interface as well as the command line or the terminal based interface. The server edition doesn't come with the graphical user interface because it's designed for servers and loading services, and that's why the Fedora Workstation will give us more knowledge and details about both. Running post installation scripts is the next step. The installation is complete. So actually, the installation is complete. It says here, Fedora is now successfully installed and ready for you to use. Go ahead and reboot your system to start using it. Great. So there are still more tasks to do. But I'm going to finish the installation. So I'm going to select finish installation. So the machine will reboot. Okay, so I minimize the window so I could see from the virtual box here, which is the virtual machine Linux Fedora still running, and this is supposed to reboot. Okay, so it's not rebooting. I don't know, maybe it will reboot now, or I might have to force rebooting. Okay, so far it did not reboot by itself, but I'm going to force the rebooting. In this case, there are two different things, you can, in order for you to force to reboot the machine. So one way to do it is to press X, and when you press X, you power off the machine. And basically it's not good. Power off the machine, basically you just do the hard turn off. No, you send shutdown signal is the best. Okay, so basically you're sending a shutdown signal to this operating system to shut down in a normal fashion. So I'm gonna do that, and this is the proper way to shut down the machine. Again, all the services are properly closed. Now as you can see, the machine now is powered off, and now one thing I want you to remember is that the installation is complete. Okay, so I'm gonna show you what's gonna happen if I turn on this machine again. by double clicking on this virtual machine. So it should load the operating system, which is the Linux Fedora. And again, here is switching to the scaled mode. And let's see if this is gonna work. Now you notice that it gave me back to the installation, okay? And this is what this is actually, I don't want this to happen. I'll tell you why. It's getting me back to the installation because the DVD is still in the drive. So let me close this window. I don't want it. So actually it's not on. So basically I want to power off the machine, because I should, once you perform the installation, you should do one more task before you turn on or launch the Linux Fedora machine, which is you need to go to the, you see this one, the ISO, the storage, the ISO image is already mounted, so you need to remove it. So you go to the storage and you need to remove, you see this is here the Fedora workstation, the ISO image itself, because otherwise it's gonna continue booting from the DVD. So in order for us not to boot from the DVD, we have to remove it, and to remove it is by removing the attachment. Are you sure you want to delete the optical drive? Yes, I don't want to. You will not be able to insert any optical disk or ISO images or install the guest edition without it. So let me just make sure that if this is what I want to do. And yes, I need to remove it. Okay, so this is correct. I need to remove it so I can boot the machine from the VDI, which is the disk, or the disk that we created. So this is exactly what we want to do. Then we can turn on or power on the machine. Now this is gonna take us to the booting process from the hard disk drive. Okay, and again we're switching to the scaled mode. Now notice what's happening now. It's booting, and it's booting from the hard disk drive. There's some warning, gray one, so you just close them, and it looks like it's booting. This is the booting process, and as I told you guys, you should remove the DVD from the attachment, otherwise it will keep running from the DVD as an installation. So we don't want the installation anymore. We are done. So now it's booting the Fedora as an operating system, Linux operating system, from the disk drive that we created, which is, we call it VDI, virtual disk image. Now this is our installation. Okay, it's a full installation. So I'm expanding the window, maximizing it. Now again, there are still some tasks that needs to be created. Okay, so remember that we haven't created the user. Okay, so it's welcoming us. Select next. Now for this is like privacy, localization, and says here allows applications to determine the geographical location. So basically for privacy as well as automatic problem reporting, I'll keep the default as is. So I'll select next. Now connect your online account. Connect again. This is another thing, you can skip this one. Okay, so if I don't want to have no account or photos, again this is workstations for personal use, so I'll skip this one. This is important. So And remember, in Linux environment, there is the master user or the administrator is called root. But again, root is not for us to log in. You don't log in using root because it is for security reasons. That's why we create an account with administrative privileges. I'm gonna create an account with my name. It says here put your full name, so I'm gonna put my full name. And notice that it created the full name. So basically, I don't like to have this way as my full name. So actually, I would like to use the first letter. So I changed it, the first letter and the last full name. So I will do that. So enterprise login. So again, this is the user. This is going to be enterprise login, and there is no domain at this moment. So enterprise login allows you to an existing centrally managed user account to be used. So I don't have really the enterprise domain at this moment. Okay, so I will have let me go back actually. All right, because I want to make sure and skip this one. Now enterprise login, again, this is, I don't have a domain at this moment, but for now, because eventually we are going to create a domain, so I'm gonna call it linux.net. So let's say that this linux.net domain, and again the username that was created. Okay, so and I need to put a password for it. So I'm gonna use the account that created, which is my name, and then I will put a password. For now, you select password, and enterprise login. So now this is the full name. This is okay. So this is the issue actually. This is probably the mistake I did. I don't really need to set up an enterprise login. Okay, all what you need to create is the full name and then the username. Okay, again, it's my mistake. Enterprise login is for logging into the enterprise with the domain, but this is sufficient. Okay, your full name, and you create a username, which is basically, it will take the first full name with the last name, but I changed it here. Okay, so this is basically what I like to use iDarwish. Then you select next. Now here the password, again for simplicity, I'm gonna use password because I don't want to forget it. And this is a system for tutorial training, so I'll keep it simple for now. Next. All done. Start using Fedora. So what happens is that a user who was created with administrative privileges. Okay. Now in this case, basically I'm gonna be using Fedora, and here it's loading. Actually, it's loading some of the services. Now this is network. Network is ready because we are using NAT, network address translation. So I'm using the built-in network of the machine. Here we are. Okay, so this is the full desktop. This is the activities. Okay, so it is everything is there. So I'm gonna, let me X this one. I don't need, because probably I pressed the help. Okay, now this is the activity. Now again, this is getting started with the genome, which is the desktop. So I don't need to go through that, but I need to go through activities. I just want to show the activity. This is exactly similar to the menu that we saw before, the icons. This is the Firefox. This is calendar. Actually, this is now added. There is a rhythm box. This is for streaming. This is photos. This is files, software, and there are so many applications that has been loaded. And of course here you can type anything, like for example we are going to be using the terminal heavily, so you type terminal, ter. Okay, so it will show you now the application for the terminal. You select that one, terminal, and quickly, this is again the username that was created, iDarwish. The name of the machine is called localhost. This is tilde stands for my home directory. Now if I type who am I, like what we did before, this is my login name. So, and the dollar sign because I'm a regular user, and later on I will show you how to access the root with the root privileges. So remember that if I want to restart this one to test that the installation is done completely and right, I'll use a command. I'll show you this command for now. Init stands for initialization with 0 stands for restart. So init 0, it will basically used for restarting the operating system. Now if I'm not sure, let's say for example I'm not sure about the option, so init I put the dash help. It will show me the different option for this command. Init initialization. Okay, it's telling me 0 is for power of the machine. Actually I don't want to do the power of the machine, I want 6, which is reboot the machine. So, and there are other options as well, so I want to use then init, and the option that I would like to use is 6 in this case, and it will supposed to restart the Fedora for me and the operating system. Now notice that it's not gonna go to the installation media. Some warning, you can close them, very simple. And it's not gonna go to the installation media because we removed that from the attachment. So it's gonna boot Fedora, full installation, workstation based, and it's gonna take you to the login, so you can log in with your user account. Now remember, this is an operating system, full operating system. That's why it's slow. And even though we have 2 GB, but again, this is booting. Again, this is the account that I created. And if you want to, as I told you guys, we need to have to show the work. You need to take screenshot, and the way to do it is if you put the mouse on the taskbar here, and you do print screen. And the print screen already took a capture of this one. This is what is needed to be done. Okay, and in this case, if you go to the Word and create a new window in Word, blank document, and Control V or paste, as you can see, it you paste the image, and this is exactly what is needed to be done. So this is one installation, because the next time I'm going to show you how to perform the installation of Ubuntu in the virtual machine on Oracle Virtual Box. So let me switch back to this one. So again, if I want to log in again, the password is password, and hit enter, and I'm logged in to Linux Fedora full version, full installation. Again, it's creating my, since it's the first time, and it's creating some kind of profile, setting up my profile and different settings. And this is here we are. You can go to activities, When I go to activities, it will show me the window here, as well as it will show me a search box, so I can type the terminal if I want to go to the terminal. And here, go to the terminal, which is the command line interface, and this is it. This is my account, and again, who am I? And if I type ls, this is the listing of my folders. Now there's a command I'm gonna teach you right now. It's called pwd print working directory, or present working directory, or print working directory. It is my home directory, which is under home slash iDarwish. This is my home directory. And again, you can always exit this terminal, you can exit this session, and of course you can go to the upper window and you can power off or log out. So you have two choices: log out or suspend or power off. And I'm gonna power off the machine, and I don't want to restart, I want to power off the machine. This is from the menu, and it's shutting down. So this is almost will conclude the second part of Fedora installation. And actually I want it to be actually in one part, but by mistake I pressed the stop button in this case. So but again, it takes time because it is closing all the files, closing all the services properly. That's why it takes time, because if you do that, the lifespan of your installation will be much longer. It will be healthier. Okay, and this is my virtual box, and as you can see, it's still running because it's shutting down. I'm going to end this video as soon as it shuts down, just to make sure that everything is okay. Perfect. It looks like it's powered off. As you can see, it's powered off. It's clean. It's a clean installation. Everything is perfect. And I'm gonna stop this video. I'm gonna see you guys in the next video for Ubuntu installation. Thank you. Have a good day.